You have people charge $1 million booth rent with no benefits. Don't even have enough parking spots for their clients. A lot of booth renters don't even realize they're getting ripped off. A lot of times if a company has you sign a non-compete agreement, but the biggest pro is if you get paid commission and Hey girl boss, in today's video I'll be sharing with you the pros and cons of booth rental versus renting a private suite, as well as the pros and cons of getting paid through commission and or hourly pay. This video is not only geared to lash techs, but anybody in the service industry going through a booth rental, private suite, or commission / hourly pay situation. So before we get started, you already know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe to the Girl Boss Tribe because we're a total vibe over here, and turn your post notifications on so that you don't miss a beat. Let's get into this video. First topic of conversation is going to be booth rental. I'm going to be giving you all 3 cons and 3 pros of booth renting. But before we get into it, I do want to specify what I mean when I compare booth renting to private suites. In a lot of ways, booth renting and renting a private suite can have similar terms. But for the purpose of this video, I want to clarify that by private suites, I mean a private suite within a building that doesn't necessarily have to be a salon or a spa. I mean that this is a private suite that you're getting your own key to. You make your own rules as far as the clients that you have coming in and out. You get to decorate it how you want to, run your business the way you want to. So pretty much you'll have a decent amount of control over your private suite. By private suite, I don't mean a specific space that's for you that you have limited to no control over, because technically, in my opinion, that's still booth renting. I just wanted to clarify that before we get into everything. Hopping straight into the pros and cons of booth rent. The first con is the high booth rental fees. The average booth rent, at least in my location, can range from $200 a week to $75 per day if you're doing daily rentals. Some companies do specials, like you get the first month half off, or you get the first week half off, maybe the first week free, whatever. But baby, after that special is over, you will pretty much be locked into either that $200 a week or $75 per day. Terms can differ, but the reality is that booth rental fees can be pretty high. If you're just starting out with little to no clientele, this may not be the best situation for you, because you'll realize that a lot of the money you're making from your clients could be spent mainly on booth rent. Now, if that could just be your side hustle and you have another full-time job or another job that's making the bulk of your income, then this may not be a sticky situation for you. So just understand that if the company isn't helping you to build your clientele, then everything is pretty much on you to build your clientele and maintain your funds to sustain the booth rental situation. Con number 2 will be having to adjust to the structure and flow of whatever company you are booth renting from. As a booth renter, you'll be utilizing another person's space to service your clients, to run your business. Meaning, if they like the temperature a certain way, if they like the music and the vibe a certain type of way, if they like the decor a certain type of way, you'll have to adjust to those ways. Say for instance, you'd like an atmosphere that's a bit more quiet and relaxing so you can service your client in peace. But the company that you're booth renting from is usually high traffic, very loud, music playing 24/7, chatter here and there that you hear. You're gonna have to adjust to that, because that's just the way that the building runs its business. On the flip side, if that actually matches your vibe and you like that, great. But if it turns out that that's a completely different vibe than you would like, and you've come to realize that you don't even like the way that they do business, then unfortunately you'll just have to adjust. The third con is competition. Now, I want to say that if you're in a booth rental situation where you're surrounded by other service providers who don't do the same thing as you, meaning they have a different craft and a different type of clientele, then this may not apply to you. This may not be a worry of yours. You all can actually come together to do collaborations, which can increase the clientele and revenue for everyone. But if you're in a situation where you have multiple service providers offering the same service as you with the same target audience, this may be a sticky situation. You may realize that it can get pretty competitive, and I hate to say it, but that's the reality in situations like that. There can be people plotting on taking your clients, looking at the technique that you're using and then trying to take it and run with it, or just straight up cattiness. One tip that I can give you though is to have great customer service. There can be a million people doing what you do the same exact way you do it, but if your customer service is top tier, that will be the one thing that has a person choosing you over the million other people that are doing it. I always tell people that great customer service is going to save you every time. And sometimes the people that move shady like that, trying to see your clients or whatnot, have terrible customer service. So always make sure you're catering to your client, treating them right, so that you can have loyals, regulars that say, I'm sticking with my lady. I know you do lashes and they look nice, but my girl, she treats me right and I'm not switching up. I actually have a bonus, number 4, for the cons as far as booth renting, and that is feeling like you're putting in a lot with little in return sometimes. Now this is my own little tidbit because this is something that I've realized in my own experience and in the experience of others who are also in the service industry that do booth rents. One thing that I find can be consistent in the booth renters is feeling that they are, like I said, putting in a lot for little in return. This may not apply to all booth renters, depending on what amenities that the company you're booth renting from has, what they offer to you. But if it's not much, then in some cases you can realize that not only are you paying booth rent, you're bringing patrons to that establishment, good paying patrons that come consistently, your regulars. You are bringing your energy and skill to that establishment. Just being in there really is helping the establishment, you being there working. Do you see what I'm saying when I say that? Because now we're getting into self-worth. We're getting into how valuable and needed you are, because sometimes as a booth renter, initially you can look at it as, okay, I need this company so that I can run my business out of this company. But don't forget how valuable you are, how valuable it is for them to have you bringing your good energy and your skill into their establishment to keep it running. How important it is for these companies to have working people in their company to continue bringing patrons in. And you can be doing all this for an environment that is only giving you the location to run your business. Now I know the location is extremely important. You need somewhere to run your business. Of course, you need somewhere to set up your things. But unless they have other benefits, that's all you're getting. In a lot of establishments, the only benefit you're getting is the location to run your business. Because remember, the moment you leave, the moment you decide to leave the establishment and venture off to do your own thing, whatever, unless you have regulars that are loyal to you, then the people that came to you that just popped up every now and then to get their services done by you are still going to go there, just to a different service provider, but they'll still be going to that establishment that you left. So now the establishment is still reaping the benefits of you when you ain't even there no more. I'm sorry for the gum in my mouth too, by the way. Oh my gosh, I hope I haven't been, anyway, just going forward, I would love to see more establishments offering more benefits to the people that actually work in those places. A lot of booth renters don't even realize they're getting ripped off. You have people charge $1 million booth rent with no benefits, don't even have enough parking spots for their clients, no washer and dryer to clean the towels, no refreshments, keeping the building clean is on the booth renters. You mean to tell me you're paying $200 a week and the company can't even provide refreshments for your clients? I just don't like how it's starting to be a thing where buildings are charging so much in booth rent. You'll realize that how much you've paid by the end of the month can really go toward a private suite. But that's later on in the video. On a lighter note, let's get into the pros. So the first pro being you have no overhead fees whatsoever. You don't have to worry about maintenance, decor, technical issues. You just have to pay your booth rent, keep things tidy, service your clients. Literally. Simple as that. Or at least it should be simple as that. I don't know nowadays. I've seen a lot. The second pro is that if you're in an environment that is pro teamwork and collaboration, you can actually use this as a time to build your clientele and revenue and get your network up. Side note, these walls are so thin. If you hear a little noise in the background, I'm in a private suite and there's other suite members here. So yeah. Some establishments can even promote for you so that you can get your clientele up. They may be in a high traffic area. That way you'll be able to get walk-ins and build your clientele. You can collaborate with some of the other people there and share hacks and tips to up your skills. There's just so many things you can do and so many ways you can advance yourself in an environment that is all about teamwork. So pretty much booth renting can be a very supportive environment for you. The third pro of booth renting are the appliances that can come with the establishment. In a lot of establishments, they'll already have the things that you need to run your business For instance, if you're a massage therapist, they could possibly already have massage tables for you. If you're a hairstylist, they can already have the wash bowl and the station for you. If you work with body contouring, they could possibly have all the machinery for you. And this saves you big money on having to buy your own appliances, machinery, tools, whatever. So if you are looking for a place that provides all these appliances, you just got to do your research and make sure that they provide it. Next topic, private suites. So again, by private suites, I mean a suite that you have your own personal key to and that you have creative control over. You get to make your own rules, set your own temperature, everything. So I'm going to start with the cons first so that I can end with the positive. The first con is higher fees. With private suites, you usually shouldn't have to deal with maintenance unless you own the building, but you may realize that you'll have a higher fee to pay for that private suite compared to booth rental. That's because with suite rent, they usually include the water usage and the electricity usage within the rent, so you'll find that that higher bill is making sure that all those things are covered. The second con is that everything falls on you. Insurance, business licensing, marketing, security. If you're okay with that, then that'll be nothing. But if you're the type that doesn't want that extra responsibility and would rather not deal with it, that may be too much responsibility for you. Those things that I listed are very key components when it comes to running your business. So as far as marketing, if you're in a suite building and you're like on the high floor, you may realize that having walk-in traffic is a bit harder for you. Sometimes people won't know that you're in that big building doing all those services because they can't see your advertising when you're inside the suite. So you'll have to take it upon yourself to make sure that your marketing is top tier so that even if people can't see where you are just driving past, they'll know you're there. The third con can be crazy clients. In a private suite, it's really just you and that client. You won't have a manager or some non-owner to step in if anything gets out of hand. It's pretty much going to be on you to handle all situations professionally and with the best of your ability. But because of this, if you're a lash artist, I always recommend to have your clients sign consent forms and to take before and after pictures. A consent form will show proof that you've gotten consent from that client to do whatever service they've come to you for. So if any legal action should ever take place, at least you'll have those documents. Now we're going to get into the pros. The first pro is control over your business and branding. You can decorate your suite however you want, play whatever type of music you want, put the creative flair into your business the way you see fit. You can even rent out parts of your space to other people that want to provide services there, as long as your space permits and the landlord is okay with that or whatever. But essentially, you'll be free to run your business as you please. The second pro is privacy, of course. A lot of times people get their beauty services done to feel better about themselves, to feel good about themselves, or just have that wholesome moment to relax, to wind down, and doing this in a space that they know is private and intimate can just be the cherry on top. I do have a fourth pro that I'll be sharing, and that is being able to keep your full profit. Yes, you'll still have bills for your business. Yes, you'll still have things to pay for, but it may be nice to know that at least those things you have full creative control over. We're now going into the topic of commission / being paid hourly. So first we're going to start off with commission. I just want to explain what commission is before I start talking about the pros and cons. So commission is when you're getting paid a certain percentage of whatever service you've given a client. Commission does come from a company. Say you work at a spa that offers 30-70 commission, meaning you get 30% commission, they keep 70% of the profit. So if a client books a $200 service and you service that client, that means you'll get to keep 30% of the $200 while the company keeps 70% of that $200. Commission percentages do vary depending on what company you work for, so it really just depends on their terms, but what I usually see is a 30-70%. So we're going to start off with the cons so that we can end with the pros. The first con being, which may be obvious, low payments. If you're working for a company that has low ticket prices, meaning their pricing is just low on certain services, you may realize that you'll have to service a lot of clients just to see some type of money, just to see a good amount of money at least. Let's just say you work at a brow bar and the brow wax is $25 with a commission of 30-70. You getting 30, company keeping 70. That means for every brow wax you do, you'll be receiving $7.50. That's the 30% of the $25. So taking 5 brow waxes a day would make you $37.50, while the company gets to keep $87.50. So to even see $100 or close to $100 for that day, you would at least have to service 13 brow clients. Now a higher paying ticket would be different. For instance, $200 lash extension. So assuming you'll still be making the 30%, that means for a $200 lash extension client, you'll be seeing $60 per lash client that you service. We're just gonna keep it simple and have every single lash service being $200. So yes, you'll be making $60 per lash client that you have, while the company will be profiting $160 per lash client that you service. 3 lash clients a day will make you $180, while the company keeps $410. So all in all, the amount of money that you will see is really dependent upon the pricing of the company, how many clients they have coming in and out, and how much money they're willing to share with you, the percentages. So yeah, depending on the pay, sometimes you can feel like you're servicing a lot of clients, like you're having to put a lot of work in just to see a little bit of money, and that's to me a con. The second con is low traffic establishments. If you're working for an establishment under commission that has slim to no traffic, that means you'll pretty much be working for slim to no pay. And by working, I really mean just sitting in the building waiting for a client to come in, because most times no client equals no commission, which is also why I think a lot of companies like the commission route more so than the hourly. They'll know that at least if they're paying their employee, it's paying them to actually service a client compared to paying them to work the front desk or do low maintenance things. Looking at it from a company's perspective, I can see why they would prefer commission over hourly, because during a slow period, they probably only prefer to pay you if there's a client there, not necessarily having to pay you just to be in the building. The job may feel like they're having to come out of their pocket too much. But from an independent contractor's perspective, or a person getting paid under commission terms, I'm going to want to make sure that I'm here for a reason, which is to service a client and get paid. The third con for commission payments are the sales. So during holiday season, a lot of companies tend to run specials and sales, and as a commission worker, that can affect your pay because sales usually lower the prices of services. So you know that $200 lash set we talked about? During a sale, that can easily turn into a $150 lash set, which would then make your commission 30% of the $150, lowering your pay. So instead of making $60 for that client, you'll then be making $45 for that client for as long as that sale lasts. Now, when it comes to the pros of commission, I'm not going to be numbering them off because honestly, the pros of commission are the literal opposite of the cons that I just listed. So for instance, the pros are high ticket sales, high traffic establishments that bring in clients consistently. You'll never really have to worry about a slow period if you're in a high traffic area at least. But the biggest pro is if you get paid commission and hourly. So not only are you getting paid per service that you do, you're also getting paid by the hour. So really, you'll be getting paid regardless if you're servicing a client or not. Which leads me into the topic of getting paid hourly. The pro is that you're getting paid regardless on if you're servicing a client or not. And this can help to mitigate any competition because there's really no need for competition unless people are competing for tips. But the con is that there can be a cap on how much you're getting paid by the hour. Commission can help you see more money, but if you're not getting offered commission, then you'll pretty much have to rely on tips just to see some extra money on your checks. Also, another con is that in these types of jobs, not even just hourly but also commission, you may have limits on what you can and can't do. For instance, you may not be able to post the work of the clients that you're servicing within that establishment because they feel that those are their clients and you're just there to service them, do nothing more. Some companies don't even want you to have too much conversation with the client because they don't really want you to build that rapport too much. They literally just want you to have great customer service, complete the service to the best of your ability, and send the client on their way. A lot of companies even go as far as requiring their employees to sign non-compete agreements. A non-compete agreement, in simple terms, is pretty much an agreement put in place between the worker and the company stating that the worker can't take their clients and they can't set up shop within a certain vicinity of that company. This is just the way that companies try to make sure that their workers don't steal their clients if they choose to leave from the company, and that their workers don't open up a shop with the same services anywhere within the vicinity of their company. It's just trying to mitigate competition as much as they can. If you're ever in a situation to where you're asked to sign a non-compete agreement, always read the fine print, read the document in its entirety honestly, and understand that you can negotiate terms if you feel like they're unfair. A lot of times if a company has you sign a non-compete agreement, you can get some type of incentive because you're signing that non-agreement, because technically you're signing some of your rights over. Some people even go as far as to say, if I'm going to have to sign this non-compete agreement, I'm going to need for you to have somewhere in writing that states, by me signing this agreement, I'll have at least 1 year of employment with you all. Or even salary negotiations, like if I sign this non-compete agreement, I'm going to expect the pay to be at least so and so, me working for you, or the pay to raise to at least so and so within so and so amount of time. You know, pretty much negotiation. The terms can vary, but understand that, like I said, you can yourself create terms that you can ask the company to abide by as well. So that sums up my TED Talk on booth renting private suites and commission versus hourly pay. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, I made a video a couple years back on this topic as well. I dropped some gems in there that are still beneficial to this day. So if you're interested, go check that video out. I'll pin it up either right here or right here, so check it out. That video is titled Booth Renting versus Private Suites, Don't Get Got. So yes, very beneficial video. Go check it out. That is all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video and had some good takeaways from it. If you did, leave me a comment and let me know what you liked about the video or any ideas that you have for me to film. Before you go, you already know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe to the Girl Boss Tribe, because we're a total vibe over here, and turn your post notifications on so that you don't miss a beat. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, Girl Boss. Mwah.